What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite wrestling podcast. It is the Monday Night Wave, baby. And we back. We back with episode 20. It's 20 of them things. That's a couple months of like potting about wrestling, man. It feels great. It feels great. It feels good. I go by your host, a.k.a. Jay, a.k.a. the babyface's babyface, your mother's favorite babyface. And, you know what time it is. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it out to my host. One time for the one time. Go ahead.
All right. He undersold himself. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Lone Heyman. And me, some of you guys might consider me an advocate or just a co-host. But let's not get confused. I'm also his wild card. I am the King of Gorgeous, and if you ever gambled before, I am Mr. Sexy Ass Lottery. If you're nasty, it's Hero. Hey.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah! And I got a question for you, bruv, and that is, what do you want to pod about?
It's a great day to pod about wrestling, people. Big week in wrestling. It's a big week for New York wrestling. New York, you spoiled son of a bitches, bro. Y'all got some good shit, man. Really. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Forbidden Door is well, if you guys listen to this now, it was yesterday. So Forbidden Door is coming up for us. We got Money in the Bank in a little under a week.
It's like what you drank. Yeah.
Hey, no, look, side tangent. That song being put in like a Smackdown versus Raw set me off the edge. I didn't even think like rap and like wrestling could connect. But when I heard Money in the Bank and Smackdown versus Raw, I lost my fucking mind as a kid. And I played it all. And that was my entrance song too. Because it was the only rap song in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's get into it real quick. We got a couple new segments that we want to talk about. Some very interesting shit happened this week as far as like the news. Or not interesting, but just some stories popped up. All right.
Yeah. You want to get the sad stuff out first?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Okay,
first things first.
Let's get the sad out the way.
We're sending our condolences to Sika of the Walt Samoans. To the younger audience, you will know him as Roman Reigns' father. Yeah, man, sending our condolences out to that side for sure. Like, I wasn't too, let's say, I wasn't watching the Wild Samoans, but I was, a product of like, seeing their family in wrestling for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My uncle definitely told me more so about the Wild Samoans than like anything.
Nice. Yeah. I'm not familiar with him either. My first time seeing him on screen was literally during the Hell in a Cell when he gave him the tribal chief. Yeah, the lay. So
yep.
It's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate for the whole family, and that's a huge ass family. And
it is.
Everyone's lost people. I just lost someone recently. And it's just one of those things where you just got to be positive, and yeah, man, it sucks, but you just got to kind of move on. And the family, I mean, it takes time, and don't let anyone rush you. And speaking of that, also Pat McAfee also lost someone too, which was why he wasn't on Raw. So. Yeah, we had a couple losses. One huge to the wrestling business, one adjacent to the wrestling business. But yeah, just shout out to both families, all families, and all parties involved. It sucks.
For sure. Definitely sending thoughts and prayers to everybody right now that's been affected. Like, that's just tough, especially to both of them. I believe for Pat, it was his father-in-law looked like he was on the mend, and then just something just happened. He had said that on his podcast, and I saw that and I was just hurt by that too. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to the Anawai family. Shout out to Pat and his family. Hopefully, y'all can. It's gonna be tough, but y'all gonna get through it, man, for sure.
And some good news to the exact opposite of that. We get something. We get a cool celebration, which was Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews. Not going to use their real names. Yeah. They got married. There was 3 days before those pictures came out, apparently, which makes sense because it takes time to edit photos, and especially good photos like the ones that they had. But yeah, congratulations, they're married. Yeah.
Yeah. Congrats to them being married, man. Like that's really fucking cool. I like that. I like that a lot. I remember, I think it was a couple of weeks. Buddy had got like written off of TV, and the speculation. Oh my god, he's leaving. It's like, no, man. The man just needs time to get married. Shit, and no better time to do it while like your significant other is like away from like the business right now. You were like, shit. If there's any time to do it, this is the best time to do it. Shout out to both sides for allowing that to like not allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony for being like, yo, go ahead, go handle that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and they're not in a storyline anyway, and maybe that's the reason. Who knows? But I mean, yeah, since they're not in the storyline, and since she has already been written off due to recovery, and shoot, yeah, I guess it made sense for them. So hell yeah, and yeah, congratulations.
It did.
So, I hope it was fun. They look dope. I like the aesthetic. It looked good.
In wrestling talent news, Dijak got released. I believe the statement or the quote that Dijak had posted on Twitter, a letter just telling everybody that he has got released and with his booking information and whatnot. Some of like the quotables inside that was that WWE never negotiated with them. He says he attempted, they stonewalled him, they never made an offer, and he was also slated for an NXT title push before he got called up. And the IWC was kind of like triggered. This is the first time I seen the IWC all agree where it was like Dijak is one of them ones. He has some bangers in NXT. I think one of the ones they had brought up was him versus like Wesley was like I guess a really good match. I'm not too familiar with Dijak.
He's one of those people that don't miss really. I mean, when he was T-Bar, I think he was always in tag matches. I don't remember the pandemic that much, but Dijak, he was a personal favorite of mine. When NXT came to Portland, that him and that Keith Lee match was fire as shit. Got to see that in person. This is one of those times where it's like I feel comfortable and like you guys. I don't want to say fumble because fumble is a strong word, especially in a particular company that has a revolving door of like they already have a bunch of superstars, So
right.
Fumble might be too strong of a word, but I will say this is definitely it's a mishap. It's a fuck up. It's a what do you guys like? What was the point in calling him up if you weren't going to use him?
Facts.
I hate like the biggest issues with call ups since I've been rewatching, and that's like sometimes they call people up and just have zero plan with them. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to devalue anyone's experience or anything. I don't know how true it is that he's being stonewalled or anything. But Dijak is one of those people to where it's like, how can you not find something for him to do? He's like 6'4", he's athletic as shit. He can do some flips if he needs to. He doesn't need to, but he can. Like he can hit moonsaults and fucking leapfrogs and all sorts of shit. And so how can you not find him something to do? Like I don't know. It's just baffling. You should have just left his ass in Orlando.
To be honest, like let's keep it a buck. Like if you had no intentions of using him, why take him out of like NXT? And was that always the plan to where like, okay, if we take him out of NXT, we necessarily won't have to negotiate his contract. We just leave him on Raw for a little bit and not put him in anything, and then he can just get released. If he's on NXT, he's in storylines. You got to pay him, or I mean, at least you would think. But we have seen people in NXT get released like a week later, and it's like, yo, what the fuck? So yeah, I don't know what to expect. I know he did say that he is he's already pitched his stuff to AEW. He shot his shot over there, so we might see Dijak in AEW. I know he's just booked some local shows, especially when in Portland. I believe I think he was doing a prestige show in September. So the man's already getting ready to work for sure.
He's a good worker. He's good at he's literally pretty much good at damn near everything. Like it's just shocking that they didn't at least keep him in NXT because him and Trick he's one of those like even if you don't see him as a world title person, such as like a Cesaro or something like that. Even if you don't see them as like, oh, that's someone who could be the big champion or whatever, he's one of those talent that can elevate other talent.
Other talent, yeah.
He's damn near like a male Natalia, to where it's like, yeah, most of his matches do not miss. He can help elevate talent. Like Trick is a star, but his in ring still needs work. Like, why didn't you give us another feud with him and Trick? Like, have him work with some of these, because the women's side of NXT is great. Like, the women are overlapping a lot of these dudes. The dude side of NXT is kind of like it's kind of in a drought right now, and they should have just kept him to like help elevate some of these dudes, because the women are way ahead, especially in NXT. Like they're overlapping all these. Like it's crazy.
You're not wrong.
So yeah.
We're gonna see. Dijak will be somewhere. Somebody gonna hit that man up for sure.
But if he goes to AEW, I know Brian Cage is going to be hurt, because he already feels like he hasn't been utilized at all. He's complained like 30 fucking times since he's been attached to AEW. If they get Dijak, it might be a wrap for Boy, because again, he can do the athletic shit and he can do the big shit too. Like he could play the powerhouse strong role, and if you need him to do a moonsault off of a springboard moonsault, he can do it. They have a similar moveset. One's just not as scary looking muscle wise.
That's true. That's true.
It might. Yeah, man, you might have to. Anyway,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, he gonna be somewhere. Dijak will be perfectly fucking fine, because everybody knows that he's able to put on them kind of matches.
Worst case,
speaking
TNA,
of like,
it's AEW or TNA.
Yeah, for sure. That is one of the two. Speaking of one of the two, Natty. We're seeing that she had removed the WWE socials from everything except for Instagram right now.
Yeah, it's on Instagram that has like still WWE ats and stuff to it. I want to wait on it. Because it could be a ploy. It could just be a ploy to get another zero.
So you better hurry up. I'm removing all these WWEs.
But we talked about it. She's one of those people that, to me, her jersey's already in the rafters. If she decided to leave, I wouldn't be upset. She's pretty much done everything that she had or that she needed to do in WWE. Like, she's excelled. Like in some cases, she's overachieved, because she was, personality wise, she wasn't like you wouldn't necessarily consider her a women's champion, but she was a 2-time women's champion. She's a multi-time women's tag team champion, and again, she's a fucking general, and she's trained like a billion people. So it would be a loss, but on her end, if she feels like she wanted to try something different, just like a lot of other talent, such as a Ricochet or a Moxley or whoever else, if they feel like they want to try something different, I'm all for it. And I think her and AEW would bring them back to, if Tony trusted her and everyone played along, there wasn't like any sourpusses or anything, I think she would help elevate that women's division finally to what it should be, or what it could be.
Absolutely.
Because she changes, the way she trains people. I mean, like when people show up to the dungeon, like people actually have to show up and put in the work, because there's a lot of stories about like certain people in the AEW locker room who don't want to take vets advice or whatever, blah blah blah. But I know there's a lot of other people who do want to take advice, who do want to learn, and as long as they want to learn, she will teach them. And there's a lot of women on that roster that are like on the cusp. They just need some extra training. They need some extra reps that they can't get from the house shows and shit. So it would be a good pick. It would be a good pickup.
Because of like just the accessibility to Nat's dungeon, whatever, if she's out of the E, even in TNA, like whoever has access to get those reps in, she's going to make that team a lot better. And not saying that just WWE talent or just TNA talent have access to the dungeon, because we see that they all mix, and they'd be at Nat's house or Nat's dungeon all the time.
Ricky Starks has been over there. Multiple people from all
multiple
companies.
people from everything, from everywhere. Shit, to be honest, Nat doing that shit for like New Japan would be fucking crazy because they've been talking about like their development and shit like that. But like Nat's gonna be a fucking star no matter where she goes. I think personally, I would love to see her in like the TNA locker room because like their women's division's always been fucking cold. But to build up the other women in AEW, I think Nat would definitely fit there. I think Nat running it with Aminata, the Billy Starks, the Jamie Hayters, like not saying these people need development, but just fine tuning them, getting them ready for like those like that big level push. If that's what she wants. And shit, honestly, Nat deserves a solid run, like at like a women's championship. Because Nat can really go. She can wrestle. Like, I don't want to see her just train people like she did in WWE, but I want to see Nat like really get her just due. And we'll see how that goes. Next piece of news we got here is one of the rumors, according to Fightful, is that AEW is looking at 3-hour time blocks. And also what days work best for like their schedule. So potential, days changes and whatnot. The 3-hour time block spot, I'm not a fan of 3-hour time of wrestling shows. I'm gonna keep that across the book, whether that's with WWE, AEW. 3 hours of wrestling is just a lot of fucking wrestling. Yeah. I mean, that's just how I personally feel.
The show would be booked differently, obviously, because AEW is more for the matches and it's less of the cinema aspect. So it should still feel differently. But I mean, yes, over at the end of the day, yeah, 3 hours is a lot. You and I both talked about it multiple times. I mean, shit, the whole world be talking about it like on a consistent basis. How 3 hours could be like, especially if it's a bad Raw, which we haven't had an actual like super crazy, really bad Raw in a while. But like in those like in 2019 and shit, like those Raws, like, bruh, like 3 hours feels like two Scorsese films, brother, on top of a Harry Potter. But yeah, I'm not surprised that this finally came out. It's been low key. It was a rumor a couple months ago, like when they when they randomly be like, "Oh, we're gonna do Dynamite with Rampage at the end." Like they kind of it's a soft launch. And the reason why they're doing it, and I mean, according to rumors from what I've seen from Fightful and other places, the reason why is it's for the WBD deal, and like one of their stipulations as far as WBD might be that we kind of want 3 hours. So essentially, yeah, what's been going on the last couple of months was it's a soft launch just to be like, what would it look like if we did a 3-hour show? Which is why they tacked like a Rampage or a Collision right after a Dynamite for whatever reason, etc.
And to be fair, like they have the roster to where they could do a 3-hour show, and still have everybody like get their runs in. It's just gonna be a shit ton of fucking wrestling. It's gonna be a lot of fucking wrestling because, like you said, they don't focus really on the storylines of everything. It's just gonna be craps for 3 hours. And coming from a Grab fan, that doesn't sound bad, but at the same time, watching these VODs and trying to live life and do all this extra, like it can get caught in the mix.
Yeah, because there's like even on Ramp or even on Collision, like almost every other match is still 20 minutes. So just
bodying,
imagine, even though on paper it might sound good to some of you people, but imagine every match being 20 fucking minutes and you got a 3-hour show. And it's like, I don't know, man.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I mean, it's also a lot to go through the soap opera shit too. But at least like that's a cool down period, like it's like okay, ooh, all right, time for the CW shit. All right, cool, let's get this drama on. But man, 20 hours of flips and fucking Canadian destroyers and shit. I don't know, man.
Man,
it sounds
fuck, man. Keeping it inside the world of AEW, there was a rumor last week that Shane was talking to AEW talent. Tony Khan came out and said this week that he would welcome Shane in AEW. Fightful reported that Shane isn't attached to WWE and doesn't have a talent contract with WWE either, so Shane is a free man to do whatever he wants to do.
And that's what I guess. I mean, I had no idea, but yeah, no, like according to what I've seen, yeah, no, he's never had an office role. I mean, I know he worked for sure in Gorilla. But yeah, no, he wasn't part of like talent relations or nothing like that. And
Nope.
he's not on a Legends contract. He's not on a talent contract. He was just on a I feel like at the end of the day he was kind of like on a handshake deal. It's like, yo, Dad, can I, you need me to jump off some shit? Yeah, go ahead, son. I need some good shit. So I feel like it was kind of like that, honestly. It's cool that Tony brought it up because like when we talked last week, he was like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I have not spoken to this man, and now he's like, I'll be open to it. Again, my stance hasn't changed. If it helps ratings in a positive way, good. As far as what I know about the diehard fan base, I don't know if seeing him on a week to week basis in the ring would be good. I mean, even without the diehard fan base, seeing him in the ring on a week to week basis would not be good. So you just got to figure out a way to utilize his character, whether as a manager, maybe we finally get a GM character that's not bootleg Adam Pearce or something.
So. I like that because that's where my head was at right when you said that. What or how do we feel about Shane doing the GM role for like ROH? Similar to how Sean does it for NXT, but Shane is doing it for ROH to get them ready to go. I think that Shane on ROH TV gets people to watch ROH. You will tune in to see Shane down there for sure. I don't know for how long, but he would bring in some eyes for sure. They also have a shit ton of fucking talent in ROH. I think that he has a lot of knowledge to help the younger people or people who are just not polished just yet and give them that push. That's how I think that would be really cool to see. I know last week we said the manager role was with Mercedes, which would still be fucking tight. But I think that in a GM role, we don't really need that on AEW like Dynamite and Rampage, but more so for the ROH and helping them get their developmental like cycle together.
Well, okay. All right. So that's where I slightly disagree because I feel like it's harder to watch ROH, which is why people don't really watch ROH. So I feel like if you do the GM thing, it should be like on a Collision, or I mean, but again, it still kind of depends on if they do this 3-hour block thing. But I feel like it should be on the shows that have consistent television, so that it does garner those eyes. Because sure, Shane on RH, that might get 30 more subscribers, but I feel like it would be better to do that on television. And have him on a Rampage, or have him control the Rampage show, or have him control Collision or
something, or
even just because originally Tony Khan never wanted to be an on-screen character, so maybe do a story where Khan makes him, you're the on-screen character, I'm only being back here type of shit, you control everything, quote unquote, you're above these EVPs now, or something like so, and just make him in for Dynamite. And that way, I mean, Tony Khan is still running every single thing, but he's just not on screen anymore. Which would be good because, I mean, hey, I know you're straight edge, but for some of these people if you ever rode the ski slopes, Tony could be kind of talkative and not make a whole lot of sense. So having him
allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. I know nothing, but
what Rick Ross say?
False accusations. Yeah, I honestly, I think I think it would be better than Christopher Daniels. So as a GM, I mean, even though he's
there's no shot at Christopher Daniels. This is no. Shane will be that magnet,
and he doesn't need to be a heel because I'm overseeing heel authority figure. Like that's why Aldis and Pierce are such a breath of fresh air. Like they're not like the heel authority. They're not the authority. Like we don't need more authority type shit. But yeah, just make Shane the on-screen person who's instead of like Shivani being like, Tony just texted me 5 minutes ago. Now this match is happening. Like no, just have Shane actually say it. So that would be my choice.
The more that I'm thinking about it, I like the idea. So I think that Shane would definitely come over to help out AEW for sure. Last topic was there's a quote from Triple H that really got me in a loop. It was the WWE is not a sport. It's a movie about a sport. I got to listen to like the whole like context of it, but that was like the headline that was quoted from Trip. God damn, that was the headline that was quoted, and it got me because I was like, damn, this all makes sense now. Is that the way I should be looking at WWE product? Is like stories of individual wrestling talent, wrestling movies. So, for example, this is the Cody Rhodes movie, which is finished the story that we got at Mania, right? The Dom and Liv movie right now is the world title and Rhea and all this. I have to break down every segment as if it's its own like film.
I would make it. I would honestly, I would to simplify it more. I would make it more like instead of film, even though that is the quote. And he's not the first person to make that quote. Gabe Kidd from New Japan, he said some shit about that a couple months ago. He's like, if you want theater, you watch WWE. If you want something, you watch AEW. If you want real shit, though, you watch New Japan or whatever he was saying. But instead of movies, because if you think of movies, then because they're honestly their goal, obviously their goal is to make as much money as possible.
Right.
They're trying to be the MCU. So if you think movies,
exactly,
the MCU is the perfect like example. Or if you want to try to simplify it, you can do TV shows too. Like you have the Breaking Bad, you got Better Call Saul. Like you have spinoffs because but MCU is also a good example because at the end of the day, it's the same shared universe. It's all the universe, but what Dom and Liv is doing, that's WandaVision, and then what all this other shit. Yeah, so it's Yeah.
So, and that's how I'm now looking at it, to where now when I watch the WWE product, I'm going to sit back and not look at like, man, this match was bad. I'm going to have to look at like, what was I entertained by the story that's being told here? That's how I'm going to like look at it. I'm not judging them for match quality. Although if it happens, great. Cool. It was a good fucking match. True. But if you have a bad match and a good story, that is more important in the world of like WWE. Like,
well, the best example for that would be Jay and Jimmy's match.
Exactly.
Story was fine. Story was good. That match was
amazing.
Cheeks. And I don't want to hear, we got 10 minutes cut. They get 10 more minutes would have made it even worse.
So my point being is that now I have a very, very good angle of how I'm going to like watch WWE product. I used to like, man, like, damn, they not putting on like 5-star matches. And the thing is, that's never been their goal anyway. It was to just give you great fucking stories. Can it happen? Yes. Cody and AJ, to me, the first one was a 5-star match to me. That was a great fucking match. The tag or the triple threat between Gunther, Sheamus, Drew, 6-star match to me. That shit was fucking fire. So it's a possibility, but the stories are what they're worried about the most. And now that it's broken down like that, the war between WWE and AEW, they are entirely different. One is definitely focusing on the MCU, and that's fine, versus one's focusing on like, we're just wrestling over here. It's two different audiences. That's why they beef so much, is that they're not meant for each other. It's like MCU fans versus like fans of like The Boys. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole different world of like just raw shit that you wouldn't put an MCU fan and make them watch, The Boys. They're not gonna. They may not like it,
They may not like it, but you could. That shit's hard. Yeah, no, but we live in a world where you can appreciate everything. Where it's like
you can.
AEW, it was labeled to be the alternative. So if you were, if you were over WWE at the time, and during that time when AEW came out, they came out at the right time because
they did.
Like it was super plateaued, it was super stagnant and boring as fuck, and a lot of
dog food angles.
Yeah, man. And so it's like there's ways to enjoy both because like I used to go to indie shows every week and I like indie wrestling. Like you can enjoy both. There's I don't want to get into it because then I feel like I'm gonna start to take shots. There's ways to enjoy both, and I'm glad Triple H is quote helped you open that third eye a little bit.
It definitely did. Absolutely. And not in a bad way, but it also makes sense on business sides of it too, to where like, okay, we're not looking for necessarily like seasoned wrestlers or indie talent wrestlers. Not that they said that, but they're like, oh, the NIL deals. It makes more sense because if you're looking at it from the aspect of like film and theater, you want to grab the most attractive, the most fit people you can possibly fucking find. They're young, they're in college or wherever they're coming from. You're gonna like sculpt them into being the best like W superstars possible, which are to tell stories. It works. I think this is like it's a genius idea. Like,
and I think we
I am
talked
not
about
mad
it
at all.
Yeah, no, and I think we talked about it before, but another reason why they chose like NIL stars and stuff is to versus like, if I was on the indies for 25 years, like I might have some bad habit. Like similar like the reason why it
Yeah.
took them so long to debut Jade, like they didn't have the training that they wanted her to have to present her the way that they wanted to present
And
her, so they had her train for a
I
little
wouldn't
longer.
even say bad habits. I would just say we have to get you to be ready for our type of like style, our
Right.
script,
Bad habits to them,
our-
quote unquote. Is what I mean.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like Jade necessarily maybe wasn't as raw, and she was raw, but she was raw to the WWE way of doing things. In the AEW way, she's probably perfectly fucking fine. But the way the WWE runs things, she needed to maybe slow down a little bit more, slow down a little bit more, protect people in this, protect people in that. Can you orchestrate a scene? Can we get you to lead this scene and then like break off? That shit was. I sat there for like 40 minutes at work. Like, goddamn, I have a lot that just opened up to me.
Nice.
Let's get into it. We got Raw, Monday Night Raw. Where were they at this week? I can't remember where they're at.
I did not write it down.
It's all right. We'll figure it out.
I knew where they were for Smackdown, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh no, they were in Indy, I think.
Oh, they were in Indianapolis. Yeah, you're right.
I think they were in because Pat should have been there. But yeah. So
yeah, they were in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pat's gone because again he lost. There's someone in this family was gone. So Miz was on commentary for the first like hour. Drew comes out. He declares for the Money Bank. That's really not much. We don't really get into the nitty gritty until the first match, which was Ludwig versus Braun Breaker, which was a heater. It was a good heater. Another match that ends in a damn DQ. And the reason I'm bringing up this, which sucks, and that's just it's frustrating. But it was noted that Ludwig seems to have suffered a broken rib, I think, due to this match, so he is injured, which is unfortunate. Not sure. I've only seen like one or two reports on that, so I'm not sure how fucking legit that is, but it seems like it's pretty legit, so that's unfortunate. Did you? No, never mind. Yeah, but it ends Sheamus DQs. But what really comes after this match is the face-off between Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn says, "You know what? You can have a match." And he asks Adam Pearce to make it official. Adam does what he does. He makes it official. So we are officially getting Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for Money in the Bank. How you feel about it?
That's gonna be a good one.
It should.
That's gonna be a good one to me. I think that should be a smoker.
Do you? Because we're not going to do a prediction episode. So at least I don't think we are. So do you? Is this Braun's first loss, or do you have? Do you have him beat Sammy?
That's a fucked up question. Nah, I think you got to ride the wave. I think you got to put the strap on him. I think Braun will beat Sammy at Money in the Bank. He's just been too unstoppable right now. Like the momentum is fucking crazy. Like, and I don't think that's not saying I don't think Sammy's also capable of like stopping Braun's ascension, but right now I don't think anybody can like stop Braun's ascension. Like he's fucking going nuts. And I think that the storyline going into SummerSlam looks a little bit different if the mid card holder is Braun Breaker. I think that's a great like ignition to like start that off. Yeah, I'm with that.
Okay, so I'm on the opposite train. I think.
Okay. All right.
I think because it's in Toronto, I think you do it. I think Sammy wins the first one because of the home crowd. The opposite of what happened to Drew. He wins because, again, that home crowd is crazy. But they get that rematch at SummerSlam, and you crown a new champion at SummerSlam. Oh man, because I'm predicting LA Knight to win at SummerSlam too. I don't know how many title changes they're going to do. Probably, honestly, that might be the only two. Ooh, I don't know. Now I'm thinking too far ahead. But, man, I don't know. Because there's a part of me that feels like it might be too soon for Braun to instantly get the belt. He still hasn't had any like actual hardship. Having him lose his first match and being like, it makes him even more frustrated. And then he goes fucking berserk. And then like maybe their second match could be a stipulation, like a cage match or something. I could rock with that also. But if Sammy was to lose and they did crown, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I think they could play it on.
Real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
What if the play is for Braun to win, to free up Sammy to get ready to do Bloodline shit?
I mean, that's plausible.
Because I think that, like, what if, hypothetically, Jimmy comes back, Money in the Bank, and it's not Jay that saves him, it's Sammy that saves him? You know, because it's going to be a 4-on-2, right? Or 4-on-1 or some shit like that.
Because there's going to be a 3v3
with the three of them.
Yeah, and
I think one more is one more still there, and then like I think you're gonna need that fourth spot for Roman, Usos, fucking Sammy versus the new version of Bloodline. I think we gotta. Not saying he can't do it with the belt, because he can do it with the belt, but like I think maybe we see him in the Bloodline action.
I feel it. I think Jimmy will come to help the White Boys, and then eventually it will spin off to Cody and Randy at some point. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, eventually all this Bloodline shit is gonna, because there's so many real life family members. Because there is someone that we talked about last week that they do already have signed, whose name I cannot fucking remember.
With trademark named.
And
they trademarked the new name, yeah.
Yeah, and then they could get Zilla anytime they wanted, if they want to. Like this family runs so fucking deep. So like,
yeah.
Who's to say that Sammy will be that fourth Bloodline member? If they're doing like legit Bloodline versus Bloodline, granted Sammy is part of one of the OG Bloodlines, he's not technically Bloodline. I'm not saying that they will do this, but I'm just saying theoretically, there's so many family members that you could still get this War Games match without Sammy or KO's involvement at all, and it could strictly be just Samoan and Tongan niggas.
It's true. You could definitely do that, and we also don't know like what the relationship was like for Roman and Sammy. We know Jay and Sammy is cool now. We don't know about Jimmy and Sammy. We don't know about Roman and Sammy. We don't know how their relationships are to Sammy right now. So it is definitely up in the air still.
Yeah, there's a lot of fracturedness because Roman and Jimmy are decent,
Roman fucks some people up.
but Jay doesn't fuck with either of those two. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of healing needs to go on before this.
It's not going to be as easy as people think. Yeah.
But all right, yeah. So after that, the next big thing that really happened was so we get the
Judgment Day promo.
Yeah, we get the Judgment Day promo. Before that, there was a women's triple threat. It was super fire as hell. And who won that? It was Lyra, right? Yeah, it was Lyra. Lyra won, you guys. But yeah, so after that, we get Liv, Dom, and eventually Zelina Vega. And a promo probably is like 20 minutes or so.
No, there's one more before that.
Oh.
There was the promo in the clubhouse with the chicken nuggets and like they're playing games and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Priest confronts Dom about being distracted by Liv. Action was going to be over and whatnot. Let me see. It says this is the moment where the PlayStation's there, the chicken nuggets there. These are all like gifts that Liv had sent Dom and the club and whatnot. This segment ends where like they show like, or she sends Dom's a photo, and Carlito ends it with like, "Oh, that's cool," like he's just showing the guys the photo of whatever Liv sent them. It
had to be some heat.
Tone deaf though. Tone deaf as fuck, bro. Like we we know what the fuck the situation was with VKM and shit like that. You can't use something that's in the lawsuit on the TV at the same time. I feel like it's a little tone deaf. A little bit. Because that's the same shit that they doing here is the same shit that is inside that lawsuit. Where she's like, he was showing videos and pictures of her backstage to the guys. Yes. Am I pushing it? Can I be reaching? Possibly. Am I reaching? Fuck no, because this is real life shit. I'm pulling from factual fucking context here. It's not like I'm lying about the shit. I'm not making this shit up. So I feel like it's a little tone deaf. Overall, the segment itself between like the gifts and shit like that, perfectly fucking fine. Everything else was good. I just had an issue with that. That's my take on it.
And that's fine. We don't know what it's not like they didn't even allude to that it was a nude. That rhymes, but they didn't allude that it was anything saucy. Technically, for all we know, it could have just been a bikini picture next to the PS5. But so I'm gonna say you're reaching, but it's not like 1313 OBJ reach. But you know, yeah, it's not that much of a reach. I didn't even see. I didn't even see it that way. Hey, bro, you know, I'm a feminist too. You know, I didn't even think about that. But, yeah, I see it. I got you.
It's all right. So I'll take whistle on me. I got the foul, coach. It's good.
It's not a foul. It's not a foul. It's just, yeah. I needed to do some soul searching.
All right, from here we did get that triple threat with Kyrie, Lyra, and Shayna. It was a dope match. All the women were fucking going nuts in this shit.
Man, they really were.
I'm still pushing for Shayna to get inside like something big, but at the moment it seems like the push is on Lyra, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Ooh, speaking of that,
she
real
qualifies.
Quick, Shayna is going to go back to GCW. It was announced. Yeah, so she's doing another GCW thing at some point soon.
After that match, we get another like live promo.
This one was in the ring. Right? Yeah, this is the Jerry Springer one.
Yeah. Playing hard to get. She got more gifts from him. Claims that Rhea never cared about her or cared about him, and he deserves more. She asks Daddy Dom to come down so she can give him another gift in front of all these people.
Yeah. Hey, people wanted that Lita Edge shit. I saw it on the timeline. People wanted that. Shit, even S Rank. Remember that one day he's like, "Oh shit, should I start watching again?"
Niggas asking for that shit was crazy that even happened, bro. And it was 13-year-olds glued to the goddamn TV, looking for something. You ain't seeing nothing,
man.
Goddamn freaks.
Yeah, that segment sucked though because Lita was forced to do it. I wasn't watching it at the time, but I knew
fucking segment.
I knew of it, and no, that was wild. But yeah, no, the IWC they was asking for that freaky shit in front. They wanted, But
there's a whole bunch of freaky shit. They looking at Liv completely different. She done said like daddy once, and now everybody fucking bricked up. Yo, like relax, cuz like calm down, bro. Goddamn. Fuck, she saying daddy and giving niggas PS5s. They ready to risk it all, nigga.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm just saying, according to what I see online, it doesn't take much to make people happy, and it took me.
It take much at all.
It took me. You know how long it took me to get my PS5? She's just handing them out.
She giving out PS5s and giving niggas chicken nuggets. Oh, I'm here. I've made it, Lord.
Hey, to some people that's all it takes.
That's a lot to some people.
It sets up.
Gets interrupted.
Yeah, it gets interrupted with Zelina, which sets up which is going to set up a match with them, which we talked about last week. They're just doing it slowly, with getting Liv a match. But yeah, it seems like there's a program.
I just feel bad, like with Zelina. It's like if the program is to get her to face Liv, just book her to win. Give Zelina some W. She needs some wins under her belt. Otherwise, this doesn't make sense. Like it makes it seem like she also didn't earn the title shot because she's just being placed in it. Like give Zelina a couple wins, That way she can build her stock up. She's been knocking people out left and right, and she can get her wins. It's also weird because it's like this whole like system of you have to earn your title shots versus you don't have to earn your title shots versus the champion can just tell you who he wants to face. Like, what is the system here? Like,
it depends on the story. That's the thing. It depends on the story. With the even though it's not the, and some of them are really easy as place the square in the square block, and it's just like it's not. And then some of them are intricate in like if you think about the CM Punk Drew feud, like you kind of have to go back for months to be like, where does shit really start? You know,
true.
With this one, it's honestly, I mean, with this one, it's like, bitch, you was in my business. Now I gotta fight you, and you happen to have something I want. And like in Liv's point of view, is like, bitch, you were in my business. Now I gotta fight you, and I have something that you want. Like it's really just a case of, bitch, stay out of my business. And sometimes that's all the reason you need to fight somebody. Sometimes it's not the greatest story, you know. It's not Stephen King,
it's
you know.
It's like Spielberg,
you know.
It's just World Star.
But sometimes
I just don't like you.
It's like, bitch, stay out of my business. Because Lena's Money in the Bank opportunity got costed by her because Liv interrupted or whatever. And Liv was like, well, you know, you interrupted me or you keep winning my business, so I'm in your business. Like, it's really just stay out of my business. That is the feud. If this feud had a chapter, or if it had a title, like, what is this feud for? Even though it's a one-off feud, the title is stay out of my business. But yeah, so
we get this Lena the title match. It's next week, or is it Money in the Bank? I don't think this is Money in the Bank. I think it was next week.
I think it might be on Monday. I didn't write that part down. I think it might be on Monday.
But either way, she gets the title shot with Zelina, and it's definitely set up for next week. I did put that in my notes. Set up for next week. Crowd chants sloppy seconds.
Yeah. Because Dom says he wants to help Zelina win, which means
she's like, "Fuck no,"
which means she's not going to.
not at all. No. We get a backstage segment with Liv talking to R-Truth. She coerces Truth into setting up a tag team title match with Pierce for Finn and JD. That will come later. I believe that is the main event of tonight's show.
Yes, it is.
We then see Chad get ready for his triple threat match. So we got Strowman versus Chad versus Bronson. And this is to qualify for Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. My only thing with Chad right now, right, is that like the man almost died last week. Either he got hit to the head, bullet to the head, whatever you want to say. He was laid out. Mm-hmm. For story implications, I would at least love to see maybe like security with him down the entrance to kind of make sure he's not getting attacked. Because if you got attacked and you almost died last week, you would think that you'd be a little bit more paranoid about coming back to your job. And therefore, you're going to make sure the security is with you at all times. You know, maybe something to that sense. I know if somebody got shot at a job, at your regular 9 to 5, A, first, I'm not coming back. But B, if I was to come back, I'm paranoid as fuck. Chad didn't look paranoid enough for me. Coming to the ring afterwards is a different story, but like going to the ring, I need this man to feel like I don't trust Pierce. Y'all can't protect me. They took out the fucking gorilla position. Like, why am I here?
Yeah, I mean he was paranoid, but no, I feel like he could have been more paranoid. But at the same time, you could only be so paranoid when you're gonna be between that much meat. Pause. He was in between a lot of meat. You know, he had a lot to focus on. This nigga took the headphones off. But
oh fucking shit, bro! This thing did not just say you only be paranoid when you're between so much meat. The meat it stops all the paranoia. Like, relax.
I mean, if it's slapping right, but seriously, we don't know if he got shot. It could have been. It could have been on some the Dark Knight shit. It could have been a pencil. They could have just put a pencil to the nigga's temple.
Nigga, that's crazy. I'm even more afraid.
No,
precision hit me with a pencil? I'm frightened, bro.
No, that's actually worse. I don't know what I was thinking. Please pull out the blicky.
If a nigga hits you in the side of the head precision-wise with a pencil and leaves you alive, I'm frightened. Where'd you get this nigga from?
For real.
Who is this nigga? Ronnie Kinshin? What's going on here?
Shit. But it was a good match. Man.
It was a good match. Yeah,
it was a good match. Gable having to play to the size difference. Eventually, though, all of Judgment Day come out to beat up Braun Strowman because earlier in one of those promos, Damian was like, "Y'all need to figure out this Strowman problem. I wanted y'all to finish this a while ago." So, Gable wins. Gable qualifies for the Money in the Bank, and then this is when some more spooky shit happens. Lights go off. Gable's still in the ring. He's freaked the fuck out. Sister Abigail, aka Nikki Cross, comes out of nowhere. Slides into, or crawls in the ring. He eventually leaves. She gives Michael Cole a VHS tape, which gets played later. I think it's actually after the commercial break. And that VHS tape, it was pretty much a sit-down interview between Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt's brother, and Uncle Howdy, who is also played by Bo Dallas. And it was just a quick interview, asking some hard-hitting questions.
This was one of my favorite promos I've ever seen. This was deep, bro.
It was acted. It was was one of those cinema moments where it's like, this was, it honestly didn't, it had no right to be as good as it was. I don't want to say it's insignificant, but it was really like a 3-minute vignette or whatever, 3-minute interview, and it was crazy impactful, it was deep. It was like, fuck, man. It was like, that's, if you think about it in the psychological horror way, whether it was like, whether it's horror movies or anime or whatever, you just think about it in the psychological horror way. It's like that, like it's, the concept is pretty cool, and I hope that they do it for every character. That's my only hope.
See, and I was going to say that too, like, because everybody has a story that they need to tell about, like, where they're coming from for this angle.
Yes, and we talked about last week. Make us care about these characters. Yep. Yes, they look cool, but one of the things about wrestling, you can look cool. You can do a bunch of cool fucking moves, but if I can't if I can't gravitate towards you as a character, I can't attach to you, then you're just a wrestler. You're not. You can't. Yeah, you gotta like it's a character, and you gotta like the character, and give us a reason to like these characters instead of them just being spooky niggas or niggas in suits or whatever.
The deep part, the whole promo was deep, right? Yeah. And transparent, very fucking transparent. But one of the lines was like, Howdy asked Bray, or not Bray, but Bo, if he's exploiting his brother's legacy. And one of like the toughest lines that was in that was like, he's like, am I supposed to let what he's done become like a mausoleum? Am I supposed to let Bray become a mausoleum? Like, this man was great. His legacy's great. His creations are great. Am I just supposed to let that just be one of the WWE historic moments? Let that just be what it is? I feel it, because like, we're not gonna let this greatness just die on the shelf. Like, I gotta continue this. This man's story was amazing.
Tell me how you felt when your brother died.
That's crazy and spooky as fuck. The ending line was, he said they wanted to forget about him. He said about all of them. He said, but they made them remember everything. Like, we made them all remember. And my takeaway from this was that, like, I like to play on the mental health aspects rather than the supernatural, to where like supernatural, spooky, you can't really get behind. Like, okay, this is poison mist and like blood coming out of nowhere. But the mental health aspect, or the mental aspect of it, is an aspect that everybody in the world deals with, a part of something. And to play on that was just like very more grounded than the supernatural stuff. Similar to like in the vein of like Batman villains. And that's how I'm looking at the Wyatt Six, as a different like mental crises between the 6 of them, or 5 of them as of right now. I think that'd be a really good like play on that.
Okay, sorry. I thought I still had the. Thought I still had my voice changer on. I didn't want to fuck up. I forgot.
No, you good. Yeah, overall, very dope fucking promo. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good shit. It was really good.
From there, we get Chad approaches Alpha Academy in the back.
Yeah, he tries.
He's knocking on the door. He's seeing him. He's like, "Hey guys, like I'm sorry, but I'm out here. Like I apologize. I was a bad leader. Just giving everybody the real." And Otis stands on business. Otis is like, "Look, I feel for what you're going through, but it's over between us. Ain't no coming back."
Yeah.
As Taylor says, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. All right? So just take a walk.
Oh, my God. I can't even. What the fuck? Yeah. So, yeah, Gable messed up because he didn't have a boombox playing
he didn't.
Some music. But, yeah, so after that, we get a quick little camera. Damn it! Why am I missing the name of it? The camera turns to the
camera pan?
Yeah, yeah. There we go. It pans to the stage right a little bit or whatever, and then we see the Creeds approach Gable, and I'm like, "You okay?" He's like, "No, nigga, I'm not." He didn't say the N word though.
I need help.
He's like, "I need help." So yeah, it looks like they're finally setting that up. That the Team Angle reboot. Team Gable, let's go. And after that, we get a women's tag match. It was real quick. Women's tag team champions versus the Rave Girls. It ends in DQ with Damage Control. So we'll see how that goes. Then we finally get the Kofi Kingston versus Karrion Kross match. That was.
Oh no, you're missing your promo.
Oh
yeah.
Seth
have a promo.
Yes, that is. Yeah, that was before that match. Well, that match was whatever. Karrion Kross wins.
Yeah,
but
by DQ or not DQ, but interference of the niggas in the back fighting.
Yeah, they beat the shit up of Xavier. But yeah, so we get Damian versus Seth Rollins, and this promo was good. They weren't super barring each other up or anything, but the point of this promo, or the biggest part to take of it, is the stipulation that Seth suggested for Damian. And that the stipulation is, if I'm Seth Rollins, if I lose to Damian, then I can't challenge for that title anymore as long as you hold it. But if I beat you, you have to leave Judgment Day. Damian says, he thinks about it for a hot second, and he's like, you know what, whatever, fine. I'm not worried about that. They need me more than I need them anyway. And so he accepts it. So now, because we talked about this a lot last week, we talked about it, and it's like, we know that Damian's going to leave this group at some point or get kicked out. Either way, he's going to be gone from this group. This might be the easiest way out based on this stipulation. They could still go the other way. They could still give us a swerve. But how are you feeling about the stipulation?
I thought the stipulation was good. I thought there needed to be a little bit more weight on it. This also, like, for fantasy booking wise, the story for either one goes great. If Priest is alone, you're going to get a lot more like Priest individual work, which I would say is probably what Priest needs right now, is that a lot of Priest's character is tied to Judgment Day. But on the opposite end of that, what does a year look like, or not a year, but a run look like where Seth can't challenge for the world title? I'm more intrigued by that aspect than Priest being solo, because I want to see how you use Seth in the realm where he doesn't challenge for the world title. And I hope that they wouldn't make him go for like the IC, because Seth has already had it. He's way ahead of that. Just how can you get creative with Seth if he's not challenging for the IC or the world title?
Yeah, my thing is, because that stipulation, it only matters while Damian holds it. I mean, who knows? They could surprise us, but we know Gunther is waiting, which he
was in the promo.
Yeah, he comes out.
He's like, I don't care what your stipulation is. One of y'all getting your ass beat.
Yeah, I think whoever wins is seeing me at SummerSlam. And
may the better man win, but I am the better man.
Yeah,
like.
So yeah, man, I don't know. I'm still kind of. I feel maybe it's. I'm still. This is not me trying to be. This is not me being biased. I feel like I. I think Seth should win because I think Seth and Gunther is a really good match for SummerSlam. For a Big Four pay-per-view, like that's a really fucking good match. Like if Cody wasn't going to be there, which we know Cody is, that could be a main event type of match. It's Gunther versus Seth freaking Rollins.
But is it a better Mania match?
That's assuming we get to Mania. We could still be getting Punk and Seth. We know like that's in the wings. Shit, we could get Roman and stuff. It really, we don't know how far they booked it out, but I mean, shit, Seth versus Gunther at Mania, that'd be fire too. Shit, yes, either one. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I think that like Seth versus Gunther is going to hit no matter when you do it, no matter what pay-per-view you do it. I don't think it's going to hit as much as like a Priest versus Gunther. That match, I feel like, only has a bubble to get done right now. I don't think you can do Priest versus Gunther at Rumble, and that's going to be the match that everybody watches. I think there has to be a title tied to that match to give it some kind of like, feeling of validation and like importance and whatnot.
I feel like the without a title, the best way to give it to that validation is to finally make Priest a full-fledged babyface, because he's been teetering every week. We've talked about it. Like, once he finally gets the fuck out of Judgment Day and he becomes that full babyface, that would give that Gunther Priest match more of that validation. Because then you have two.
It's also
the heel, you have the superhero or the good guy and the bad guy, like the actual. Because right now, otherwise it'd be a tweener-ish person versus a heel, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. And again, we're both on record like, no, that match is going to be good. They're both great ass talent. Like, we know the match is going to be good. And I guess this is me doing my business, trying to think about it in a business sense, where it's like, again, like, it's a Big Four pay-per-view. It's more than likely already going to be sold out if it's not already sold out. But man, like, Seth and Gunther won, because that'd be the first time they ever faced off. That's a really good thing for a Big Four paper. That's really, it's kind of hard to beat that, especially because like assuming Seth wins at this week or next weekend, then we finally get into the storyline of fucking Priest versus Judgment Day, and then hopefully we get Rhea. So it'll be Rhea and Priest versus, or however they do it. I don't know. It could go either way.
Is there a height limit on baby faces? Can you be 6'8" and be a baby face? Does this still work?
Yeah,
I find that very hard to like, not necessarily believe in, but like I believe in more so the anti-hero aspect of where you're teetering rather than you be full-fledged babyface. Because who's coming to the ring and challenging Priest like on some rah-rah? Like, the man is 6'8". Like, there's only a select few individuals that like it would work. I think with Seth it works because Seth is that guy. But if you got like Chad pushing the shit on Priest and he's a full-fledged babyface, I don't know how that looks.
I mean, I don't know. Bad Bunny's like 5'5", and he did it to Priest.
Bad Bunny also is one of the biggest fucking like superstars in the world. That's different.
Yeah.
That nigga had Puerto Rico in the palm of his hand. Nigga, that's completely different.
Man, he got me in the palm of his hand, but I ain't even gonna get into it.
Come on, man.
I love Bad Bunny. This was, I think it's a good stipulation. I think the stipulation makes the match even more interesting, and it makes it, honestly, it kind of makes it, there's a part of me that says it makes it even harder to predict, because they could easily swerve us.
It does.
And Priest wins and he's still in the Judgment Day, but maybe they're still upset that he even agreed to it, so they still jump.
What's the stipulation if there's a DQ?
Yeah, and
what do we do then?
Yeah, shit like that. Or maybe they do a DQ and he gets pissed at him and he finally like pushes one of them, and then they finally jump him and it's like, oh no, fuck all that, you switched up on us, type of shit.
What if Finn heard it and was like, okay, this is our way to get him out of Judgment Day. I'm gonna give this nigga a coup de grace. He gonna lose his title, and then it's Finn versus Priest.
Yeah,
oof. That's SummerSlam. It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
But yeah, main event is the Awesome Truth versus Finn and JD. There was some interference in this match.
Yeah, it was honestly it was a quick match, and at this time I was like, I'm getting tired. But yeah, it was a serviceable match. I mean, I think everyone in the ring is fucking good. So yeah, it was a quick ass match though.
It was a quick match, and the outcome is Finn and JD become the new World Tag Team Champions. I ain't gonna lie, I was a little tight, not because that they won, that's fine, but because the aspect, it's right back in Judgment Day's hands. What happened to building the tag teams that we were invested in prior to this, you know? Like, I haven't seen what DIY has a match on SmackDown, or they're going on SmackDown. I think New Catch is also on SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen them in a while either. But like, where are these tag teams that should be challenging? You know,
they've been in NXT the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I saw Pete's doing he was doing some producing, and he was in NXT. You're right. But but where are these new tag teams?
But New Catch, I do believe, is Raw, if I'm not mistaken, because I feel like I remember Final Testament beating them up that like first week of the draft or some shit like that.
So it's like where like, why is it back in Judgment Day? We got rid of the tag belts just to put it back inside Judgment Day. Yeah. That's my only issue with that.
Yeah. But, you know, it serves to the story of them trusting Liv and Liv taking over. It all serves for storyline purposes.
That's true. That's very true.
And JD's it's his first main roster title.
And JD does deserve. JD been getting his ass whipped for months now. So for JD to have a strap on him, I'm okay with that. I'm cool with him having a belt and like getting his shit off.
Yeah, and in some behind the scenes type shit. I mean, they say it. I feel like they said it multiple times in the show, but JD trained with Finn. Like Finn trained JD to become a wrestler or whatever. So the fact that like fast forward 20-ish years or whatever the fuck, they're tag teams together, that's pretty cool. So, you know, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's all for story stuff. And, you know, shit, I mean, there was a Raw talk or whatever, you know, Truth was like, because Miz was upset. And Truth was like, you know, we could just win them back. We're going to be in Cleveland soon, your hometown. We could just win them back. So, shit, maybe they win them back. Like, maybe Priest, let's say they turn on Priest at Money in the Bank. Maybe Priest helps Awesome Truth retain SummerSlam. You know, or some shit. He's like, oh, you're going to betray me? You're going to cost me my title? I'm going to cost all you guys your titles. All rise. Shit, you know.
Yeah, deadass. And that was Raw, people. That was our thoughts on Raw. We're gonna take a quick break, real quick, and when we get back, we're gonna get into AEW Dynamite, the go home show, right before Forbidden Door. And we're back, people. Let's get into some AEW Dynamite. Show kicks off with MJF and Daniel Garcia. They are in Buffalo, New York, the hometown of Daniel Garcia. It starts off with just like, you know,
fuck Buffalo, New York. MJ. I didn't even. That just pissed me off. I'm sorry.
I forgot you do hate Buffalo. I forgot about that. You was mad they didn't give you no tickets to go out there and shovel the snow for them.
Absolutely not. They should mill it and drink it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, MJF Daniel Garcia promo. He's giving Danny a lot of like props, you know, talking about like, I didn't give you a title shot, you earned a title shot and whatnot, but I still kicked your ass out there. He says MJF was gonna invite Daniel out anyway because he has a proposition for him, and that proposition was Garcia versus MJF at Wembley. And before Daniel can give his answer, enters Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
He says he didn't mean to interrupt, but he's joined Daniel Garcia's appreciation party. He loves the way Daniel's been doing it up in AEW and whatnot. This one is interesting because he gives Daniel the title shot he's been looking for next week. So there will be an AEW International Championship match between Will Ospreay and Daniel Garcia next week. And he says he's not just going to put that title on the line, he's also going to put the world title on the line or the AEW championship on the line at the same time, which has Daniel hyped even more because now he's going to get a double title shot. Or, double title shot. Now I don't think I've ever seen that. No, I've seen that happen. Garcia accepts it. He then turns to MJF afterwards, and MJF just stops him cold turkey. And was like, hey, you got a title shot you need to worry about. But meanwhile, while this promo is going on, MJF is not having it. He's not looking like a fan of Will Ospreay. He's not looking like you not respecting who I am, respecting my time. You coming out here making every moment yours. We got some friction over here. Which consequently is probably going to leave some friction for Daniel Garcia. So I guess the question with that is, how do you feel about the Ospreay and Daniel Garcia match, and how do you feel about the trajectory, what it looks like to be, where it's going to be MJF versus Will Ospreay?
I'm just curious on to when they're going to do that match. Man, honestly, I don't know. This is not even being facetious or throwing a shot. I personally don't fully understand the way that TK books things. So, honestly, as far as Swerve and Ospreay, you could flip a fucking coin at this point. I think it would be better for Swerve to win, especially I guess Hangman released a video package during Collision tonight.
Yep.
So it looks like Heyman's coming back. I don't know if he's going to be that person in the Owen Hart tournament or not. I don't know if they said that. I didn't watch the video, but so it looks like they might bring that shit back because the whole video package was about Swerve. So I feel like Swerve should win. And saying all that, I'm sure they're going to want to do Ospreay Daniel too, and then we got MJF and Ospreay, and that could easily be a Wembley match also. That could be the next Revolution match.
Can we All In? All In is right after fucking All Out.
Yeah.
September.
They had to push it up. Yeah, push it back a little bit so that wasn't 2 weeks in a row or whatever the fuck. Yeah, it could be that also. So, man, I don't know. I find it interesting that they keep teasing it. Seems like they're testing the trajectory of how does the crowd feel about this? Shit, if I was doing it, I wouldn't give y'all niggas that match for a year. Y'all gotta wait for that shit, bro. To me, that's the biggest match you could have in this company right now. I can't think.
It is one of the biggest matches. For sure.
Based on the top stars currently and how popular they are right now. To me, that is the biggest match you could have. In
MJF Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
that is a huge match.
It's a huge match, and that's with or without a fucking title, because they gave us Ospreay and Daniel without a title also. So I mean, it doesn't need a title. I'm sure it will have one. I'm just saying it doesn't need one. But anyway, I don't know if I answered your question. All I know is that it's not looking good for DG because I think Garcia is definitely going to lose. I find it funny that he seems to be more. He doesn't have a Ricochet problem, but he has a similar problem to where it seems like he has a lot of push and starts. It's like they push him every 6 months when he seems like he might be upset, and then nothing really comes of it.
He has had a lot of opportunities. I will give you that. And he's had a lot of opportunities to be in the same situation. I've seen Daniel Garcia a lot.
And he's over.
I just want to know. Yeah, he's very over. But is it translating?
Well, part of the problem was that he was with Jericho for so fucking long in the Jericho Society. And that's, again,
the learning tree.
No one who's in his vortex, he's so fucking online. Speaking of he pissed me off today because this show was the word he was like, I just want to help out the young guys, which was that fucking Cody Rhodes quote where he's like, that's a red flag. Mm-hmm. He's so canonically online. Get your old ass off your fucking phone.
No. That's what makes I'm tuned in. So much so that I'm gonna make you mad because you think that I should not be on the internet.
But he's trying to be meta. He's trying to be meta, but the thing is, it doesn't work because he really is that bad. Not him as a wrestler, but since he's after that first year of AEW, when like he really was putting on like the bubbly, all that shit. Like when he really was putting on, that shit was fire. That shit was heat. But the way Inner Circle ended, who came out of that feud or that group hot? Nobody. Jericho's who?
Sammy.
Nigga, no.
But Sammy, no. Let me finish. Sammy was the one they pushed out. Sammy was supposed to be the one that he turned on the group and like everything went right. Sammy had the push outside of that.
And then
what Sammy did with the push is completely up to him. But he came out of that. He was supposed to be the star outside of that. He was supposed to be the quote unquote young gun out of the group and be the star. Sammy's just been fucking up his own trajectory.
Well, fine. And then Sammy failed because he had to go back to the Jericho Society. So and then
because Sammy fucked up his own trajectory.
Okay,
all right, that's not on Jericho.
Then let's break down the JAS. Who came out of Jericho Appreciation Society bigger or more popular than what they were before they joined? Nobody.
Wasn't Danny?
Well, Daniel,
JS,
and that's only because that fucking dance, which is why he's over. That's fine, but even then, that dance ain't getting you wins, my nigga. Like now, he's starting to get like he's on a win streak right now, which is good. It's just one of those things.
Maybe Jericho it's not the Jericho curse. Maybe it's what these niggas are doing and what they shot. A lot of these niggas is coming out with the push. He's giving them the push, bro.
I am 2 seconds away from asking you where were you at in Jan 6 because this shit is ridiculous. Sure. All I'm saying is it's looking rough for Big Bill. It's looking rough for that other brother whose name I can't remember. It's looking rough. But I don't know, man. I don't know. The Vortex. We'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely see.
But it should hopefully.
I think the story with Will
match. Hopefully it's a good match though. Like it should be a good match. Huh?
Yeah, they should be good matches for sure. I think the story for Will right now, and I wrote this down. It was supposed to be after the Swerve match, but I'll just say it now. He's playing the game of like too cocky, not focused. Everybody that he's running into has like an agenda that they're willing to push, like they're ready to go after it. Right now, Will is just coming in everybody's promos. He's in everybody's like interviews. He's happy. He's doing his thing. He thinks he's on top of the world. But the thing is that these people that he's running into are not playing with Will Ospreay. So I think the story that they're telling right now is that you got to focus up. Like he's saying he can carry the world of being the AEW champion and whatnot. But it's a different ball game. This is the most focused I've ever seen Swerve. Like this whole promo, the story that they're telling with Swerve and like the aggression that he's having right now with Will is not like by accident. I think that's the story they're telling is that like he's treating it like, yo, this motherfucker can come from my neck and I have to like stop that. Meanwhile, Will is fucking stealing titles and talking to Daniel, giving title shots and shit like that. Meanwhile, he got a whole pay-per-view match like this Sunday. So I think the story that they're telling is that he's not focused, he's not disciplined enough, and therefore I think will end up losing at Forbidden Door. But because that's how it's supposed to happen, at least that's how I see it. That's how I'm perceiving it.
Honestly, well, I think he's going to lose it. I think he's going to lose at Forbidden Door because the family finally turns on him. But we'll see. But yeah, no, it's given it. The way that you just put it, it kind of reminds me of what Carmelo's kind of doing right now. It's different, but there's some similarities to where it's like
the same, same similarity.
Cocky, like you just think you're the hottest shit, and in Ospreay's case, he kind of is. I mean, he's one of the highest paid there, and he has to fly home every week, and he already has a title.
Right.
He already has a title and shit. So it's like, yeah, no, like that. Having that ego kind of makes sense, and then like, yeah, it might be time to finally get humbled, and hopefully that's because the family turns on him. Because again, it's like you're the only face. You're a face in a group full of heels. It just doesn't make any much sense. But
it doesn't.
Yeah.
Next match was BCC versus Los Ingobernables, Japan. I didn't get everybody's individual names, but this match is good as fuck. This is a great opening fucking match. I believe it was Claudio, Wheeler, Mox versus Shingo,
Titan,
Takahashi, and I believe it's Titan. Yeah,
Titan.
Yeah, super fucking dope match. A lot of tug of war in this match. So much of like You don't know who the fuck was going to win. So much so that Mox out of nowhere, and I didn't like it. He comes out of nowhere and just takes the chair and just smashes his man on the back, and that's how like the match ends because of DQ, and then like chaos ensues. But during this match, Wheeler looks great. You would never know if this man was out for as long as he was. He was having a phenomenal match. There's a great sequence with him and Takahashi that was just fucking amazing. Shingo, who was fighting Daniel on Sunday, had a dope 2-on-1 spot between Mox and Claudio. It was a really good fucking match. Once the DQ happens, chaos is breaking out, and then we hear this theme music for Naito. So Naito's who Mox is going to fight on Sunday. So now we got Naito versus Naito's here against Mox. The man has a pull away suit. I've never seen a 3-piece suit that's a pull away, like a fucking sports jumper. Like it was. I always thought he wrestled in the suit. I've never seen Naito wrestle, but I've seen pictures of Naito. He's always in the suits and shit like that. I didn't know the shit was the pull away, like button up, fucking like 2-piece suit, which is fucking dope. We get a Jay White versus Ray Phoenix match for the Owen Hart Cup quarterfinals. Good match. My takeaway from this is that I think it's time for Jay White to get into like some main event pictures. Whether that's the Continental or whatever, like Jay White needs to be in something. He's just too fucking nice. I think the
question is, can you take him seriously at this point?
What?
The question is will certain fans be able to take him seriously? Because
I think
he lost to a one-legged MJF after stealing his title for like a month and some change.
It's also true. That did happen.
And then a couple months ago, he got his ass whooped by Billy Gunn, who's like 60-something.
That was a bad call. That was a terrible call.
So it's like, it's just one of those moments where I feel like they need to build him up more because he was one of those he was the highest free agent at that time.
Acquisition, like for sure.
Similar to Okada, similar to Ospreay, Mercedes, they had a recent Big Four. If you don't include Edge, they had a recent Big Four, and he was one of them. And it's kind of been whatever.
He just has it. Like every time I watch a Jay White match, like, and when he's not in like the trios, he's just good. And so I feel like, we got to like put him in like, some angle that makes sense, some kind of storyline or something like that. And they've been pushing like, who's going to come after them next. Because after this match, the Patriarchy shows up. And I think that we may see the Patriarchy end up with the Trios belt, which will kind of free up, Jay White and give them something to do. Christian, Luchasaurus, and Kill Switch and Nick Wayne.
I guess you could. Yeah, I can see that. I want Joe and Hook to have them at some point too, though.
And I think they will get there too. I think they got to get through the whole Jericho angle. But Joe, Hook, and Shibata is a fucking phenomenal fucking trios. Mm-hmm. But I think you need a heel kind of team for them, and I think the Patriarchy is one of those heels that.
Well, Bang Gang are heels too.
That's true. Well, let me rephrase it. I just think that Christian Cage pushes stories. That's a good like guy that you have that can tell the stories, that can be on the collisions and make you interested in the segments. I haven't seen a boring Christian Cage segment yet.
Right.
I may not be interested, but he's never like not performed.
Right.
We get an Acclaim promo. They're beefing with the EVPs. They won that eliminator last week, so they're talking about reattaining the tag team titles. We get some more cussing from Okada, more American cuss words, which is a huge fucking pop. But it looks like they're setting up a trios match for Forbidden Door, which is going to be the Elite versus the Acclaimed, and what was supposed to be Billy Gunn, but it's not Billy Gunn. And it looks like we get the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Hiroshi Tanahashi. So it's going to be Tanahashi and the Acclaim versus the Elite. Tanahashi's also Okada's like rival in New Japan, so there's the storyline right there between those two. We're gonna see how this works out or how this plays out. I think it's gonna be a great fucking match. I think there will be solid. I've never seen Tanahashi wrestle. I'm not too thrilled with the Acclaim right now, but that's just because I feel like they've been overused. But it should do what it's supposed to do.
No, they just been bad booked, and casters are dork. But because when they came here that one year, the year about the shirt,
they were over.
They were one of the hottest tag teams in all of wrestling.
Over. It's true.
And then they lost.
I don't know what
they lost to FTR, and then they
from
just
there.
They lost to FTR, and then they just went to the fucking Shadow Realm.
the trios belt. Yeah. We get the 6-man women's tag with Mariah May, Mina, and Toni Storm versus the Outcasts, of the newly acquired Outcasts, with Harley, Cameron, and Saraya with Anna Jay. This was a good match as well. Mina's gonna have a fucking phenomenal match against Toni Storm. I think that like she's definitely becoming one of my favorite wrestlers. Like she can really fucking get down. Also more time with Saraya, so we're gonna see her. I think she has a qualifier match for the Owen Hart Cup coming up pretty soon. I don't think it's happened yet. But the story here is that after the match, Mina, Mariah, and Toni get the win. They all go in for like the celebratory drink and hug that they always do, or that Mina always does with Mariah. But once she sees that Mariah is hugging Toni, she takes this big ass bottle of champagne and goes to attack Toni from behind. Instead, she blasts fucking Mariah May in the face with this bottle, and both her and Toni are like hovering over Mariah, like, "Oh my god, is she okay?" And that's where like the heat really ensues between Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. So they have some shit they go and work out. With a Learning Tree promo, Jericho's talking about how they're looking to get a partner for for Hook, Joe, and Shibata, because Brian Keith is currently injured right now. Shibata ended up fucking up his arm and in like a submission hold. So he's looking for a partner. He says he has a video package from the Forbidden Door partner. They haven't watched it yet. They go to watch it, and it's basically Minoru Suzuki not joining them. Thinks the Learning Tree is a fucking joke, but instead challenges Jericho for the FTW Championship match at Forbidden Door. So,
which is also a joke. Makes no sense.
So is Jericho in 2 matches?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Because
I could have sworn
Minoru wants the match against Jericho at Forbidden Door. But then I also thought that like Jeff Cobb was their partner at Forbidden Door. So I don't.
Yeah, I just saw the.
Because the promo with Minoru definitely said Forbidden Door. I was definitely watching that. It looks like no, he is not in 2 matches. The match that they have is just Learning Tree versus Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata, or Learning Tree and Cobb. Yeah, so we don't have Jericho in 2 matches. But that promo definitely said he wanted to challenge Matt Forbidden Door. So maybe afterwards he's probably gonna get that title shot. I know Minoru's always like in between a lot of promotions and whatnot. Shit, Jericho might do it in fucking Japan. Who fucking knows? Enter Samoa Joe and Hook. Joe calls Jericho a joke for not even like vetting out his partners. Jericho ends up slapping Joe. That doesn't go well for them. Chaos ensues, and now we have the trios set up for Forbidden Door.
Word.
We had a dope Kyle O'Reilly match versus Zack Sabre Jr. This is my second time watching Zack Sabre Jr. He looks pretty solid. I would like to see more of him. Either from what it seems like is that he's a technical wrestler. I think we talked about that before, and I'm interested in seeing what happens between him and Orange Cassidy. He hasn't said anything on the mic. There hasn't been any promos from Zack Sabre. He's just been showing up and just fighting people, which is very fucking interesting. But that doesn't seem too far from what like AEW does, which is, no talks, all fights, which should be in my wheelhouse. But I feel like when it comes to
how can you get invested in the character then and know if you really like them?
Especially when it comes to like pay-per-view matches.
Yeah.
And especially when you're not from the promotion, I think that's even more important. So yeah, he had a good match with Kyle O'Reilly.
Bro,
Match ends with this really dope What?
I'm sorry, I'm just counting the official match card, bro. There's like 14 fucking matches, bro. This shit is wild.
Yeah, it's a fucking crazy card. Yeah, absolutely. And they start like 5, so it's like you're about to. I'm going to be sitting there
matches,
for a minute. 14 matches is fucking crazy, and they're not going to be like 8-minute matches.
No, all of them are going to be like 20. Like, if they want to go to a 3-hour show, every match is getting at least 20 minutes, probably. I'm looking at this. Yeah, every match is probably. The shortest match might be Mariah. Oh, that's okay,
I'm going to say 15. 12 to 15 is minimum.
Okay, so 3 of them are 0 hour. We get the women's tag match.
Well, there's 4 matches on pre-show.
Oh, there's 4?
So pre-show
there's 4. Yeah, you're right. There's 4. I'm looking at it right now. So you get a tag match with Mystico and Lucha Bros versus... Okay, anyway, that match is just gang warfare. And yeah, then you get Mariah versus Saraya. Then you get a triple threat tag match. No, I'm sorry, a fatal 4-way tag match. And then, you get another women's tag. That shit is wild. 4 matches. WWE's been doing 5 matches the last couple of shows.
The women's On Heart Cup is.
That's
fucking crazy when you say it like that. Like WWE's been doing 5 matches for shows, yeah.
And their pre-show has 4.
Women's On Heart Cup is at Forbidden Door. 4 shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 matches. That's a lot of fucking wrestling. Anywho.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so Zack Sabre had a match with Kyle O'Reilly. Dope match. He had a dope execution with his armbar that he set up for the win. Kyle is still one of my favorite wrestlers as of this year. He's been fucking killing everything he's in. Post-match, looks like the team is Team DK, which is Zack Sabre's guys, are outnumbering Cassidy. Then we get Tomohiro Ishii with Cassidy, and Gabe Kidd is also there because Gabe Kidd is on the ringside in the crowd watching with Undisputed Kingdom. And that sets up the tag match that he has with Roderick Strong on Rampage, which was a dope match. I definitely suggest you check that out.
Okay.
And then we get the main event, which is Ospreay Swerve versus Gates of Agony. Initially, you can see the tension between like the styles of how they're both approach this match. Once again, Will is like, I'm the GOAT, and Swerve is like, nah, bro, we gotta like lock in real quick. Match is good. I think it was a really good match. I think the storyline is there, or the tie-in story is there with Will's last title match. I think was against Brian Cage. Brian Cage is with Gates of Agony. Gates of Agony is also fucking was part of Swerve's team. So there's definitely story.
Anytime Cage works with Gates of Agony, they're officially called the Cage of Agony, and that is not me making a joke.
Oh, I never knew that. So when they're a trio, they're the Cage of Agony.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
It's real. I swear I'm not ribbing. It's real.
During the match, there's a chance for Will to hit the Tiger Driver. He's still hesitating on it. They're still playing with that story as well, where he just can't hit it. Swerve's on the ringside also tell him to hit the goddamn Tiger Driver so it can be over with.
Hit the goddamn
He hesitates. It gives him, for sure, press the goddamn button. He hesitates. It gives an opening. Gets Agony, kind of like takes advantage of that for a little bit. But when they finally work together, they get the job done with the Os Cutter, followed by a Hidden Blade. Post match, him and Swerve get into a little heated moment. Right before of course, to set up the title shot and whatnot. And as Swerve walks away, we see this, or I guess people have seen the clip online where Will snatches the belt from Swerve
again,
and Swerve hits Will with the cleanest fucking house call I've ever fucking seen. No hesitation. I'm gonna knock this man's neck off for taking my belt, which he said he was going to do. First time he did, he's like, "You lucky we friends." Second time, bro, I can't let this ride. I gotta fucking take you out.
Yes, it's probably my favorite thing he's done in this company, which was stand on business. As far as stop touching my fucking belt. We're not playing those games, and it was a really clean ass house swerve call. Ospreay got his receipt tonight during Collision for you guys who will watch Collision at some point. But he gets a crazy ass receipt, and but man, Swerve got to win this, otherwise he's going to look even more goofy.
Yeah, he has to get this one. We talked about it before. I think he definitely needs this one more than Will needs it. With that being said, that was AEW. Very chaotic show for a go-home show. I definitely think it could have been a little bit more focused on some ends. But I know they had to introduce a lot of this talent that was coming in on these shows. A lot of them looked like they couldn't be there the week before or whatnot. So they did all the announcements and surprise, guests during the show here. But yeah, without that being said, let's slide over into SmackDown. Let's go over to
SmackDown. Starts
SmackDown
off
in New York.
Yeah, Madison Square Garden.
Lean back,
man.
just Tim's out.
Yeah,
dead ass.
Yeah, as you're standing there
and
next,
you get the Aki way.
I'm gonna just pull up with the what's that bitch's name? Oh man, chicken noodle soup. Oh, the homegirl that was with Jay-Z and Alicia Keys, Little Mama. There we go. I'm Little Mama in this situation. I'm gonna stand here and stunt.
God. Oh, fuck, man. That's funny.
Yeah, so show starts off with a fucking banger. Bloodline comes out. They head straight to the ring. Baby faces, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. They come out. You see a camera cut of them coming out of their car, approach the ring. We get a brawl immediately in the first 8 minutes of the fucking show. You just get a fucking crazy ass brawl. Man, Kevin.
Can I say this is how I like shit to happen. This was it was a very clean deviation from how SmackDown or Raw typically opens like a promo. Mm-hmm. It was immediately into the shits, and I love that. That was fuck that. These motherfuckers think they're running shit. They pulled up behind them in their own truck, so they was on their ass previously before the show. So I love the action. I love jumping straight into it. It was fucking great. That. I love that segment. I love this segment.
We get a cool swanton from KO that he does.
KO, yeah.
He does it, and it's high as hell.
It's clean.
But yeah, it was clean as shit. Baby faces, they scare off the heels temporarily. They all cut promos, which was pretty generic. It's setting up for their six man at Money in the Bank. But yeah, it was pretty much generic stuff where it's Solo's not the real Bloodline. We've all been fighting Bloodline for years. They ain't shit, yada, yada. Y'all not really nothing without Roman. All that kind of good shit.
That nigga, he did say you don't see a boss or a chief. He just a seat filler. Yeah. You're not a tribal chief or a boss. I dealt with the real one. You ain't him.
Yeah, they all dealt with the real ones. Multiple dudes.
True. If anybody knows, they know.
Yeah, if anyone knows, it's for sure those three, including a couple others. But yeah, it's for sure those three. Aldis comes out. He brings out security. They all beat the shit out of the security. It was good shit. After that, though,
and then he goes back and gets the cops.
Yeah, I was like, come on,
come out with the cops the first time.
Yeah. Also, one of the security guards I thought JD McDonough had. Okay, one of the security guards, he stole JD McDonough's spot of having the best sell to the Cody, the Crossroads. The way that security guard sold that fucking Crossroads.
Was selling? He was trying to get a call back.
Man.
They going to call me back.
Hey,
he went by the phone today.
He going to be in NXT in a couple months. Bet. he going to be there. Because he sold that shit. Sold that shit like he was
selling his ass off.
Rent was due.
I'm gonna get a Grammy for this bitch.
Man, the first is in 3 days. It's time.
Rents. Now he was selling like rent's due, nigga.
Man, fuck it. So after that, we get the women's triple threat: Candice, Tiffy Time, Jade Cargill. Super fire match fire match for what it was. Indy looked really good. Tiffany is obviously still holding her own, and Jade is improving literally every match. It was a really good match. Didn't see any crazy miscues or anything that I could remember really.
Nah.
But yeah,
there was the Nia spot.
Yeah,
where Nia comes out.
Bianca comes out right after to keep it even.
Yeah, the way. Yeah.
But Indy comes out of nowhere and attacks Jade, which sets up Tiffany winning by fucking moonsault, doing the perfect moonsault to Candice.
I feel like we called this one out too a long time ago. We both sat here and agreed that Stratton was going to be in Money in the Bank. We knew this is where she was going to be at. We also said that at some point prior to her current, setting, but that she should win Money in the Bank to where she would be the next up to hold it. And you got Tiffany in the Bank and shit like that. I don't know if my stance on that changes right now, but I know that she's heat right now.
As of right now, it's changed a little. I still need to see the last woman who joins because I wouldn't be mad if Naomi won either. I don't think she needs it, but I also wouldn't be mad at it. And Tiffany,
I think that's where my head is at right now is Naomi.
Yeah, and then Tiffany having a pink briefcase would be fire. Naomi having a briefcase that would glow. That would be fucking fire. Based on the story that they're telling with Nia and Tiffany slowly becoming friends, you could picture like let's say Nia does beat Bayley and Tiffany did have the briefcase. You can picture, or you can build a lot of crazy funny storylines about the champion hanging out next to the main champion hanging out next to the briefcase person, and he's like, well, when are you going to cash on Liv? When are you going to cash on Liv? And she just never does it,
right?
And eventually turns on Nia or some shit. Like you can build some interesting stories that way. But yeah, as of right now, my opinion slightly changed a little bit. I'm kind of leaning towards Naomi. I still need to see who that last woman is. But yeah, man. It was a good ass match. All three women cooked. It was good shit. After that, we get we get a quick backstage segment. Pretty Deadly returns. We haven't seen them on TV in a minute, and it sets up a match. Yes, boy! It sets up a match with Street Profits, which we should be getting next week, which is cool. And B-Fab talked a lot during this backstage segment, which I appreciate because I need her to.
B-Fab.
Yeah, if they're not going to give girl in-ring stuff, she needs to talk more. Granted, the Profits don't need a mouthpiece because they're both really good at talking. She can't just be standing there looking good in her weird ass outfits. Still can't dress. It's a hit row thing. I don't know what to do with it. But she guys. I'm glad that she's talking.
The compliment was in your hand. It was, you could have just left it at that. This man had to. It was a shot.
Hit row can't dress.
You throw shots like periods after sentences. It was like, damn.
Well, while you had a hit row, I had a hit list, and goddamn it was a closed section of how to. Please don't. Don't spend your dollars on that. If you're gonna troll me, I don't know. Just give me something else. Like, give me a Josh Allen merch or something. If you're gonna troll me,
it wouldn't work. That would be even worse. You would, hate that.
I mean, a crosshair with a black man's face. As much as I hate Swerve, I still couldn't do it. Where am I gonna wear that shit at? I'm not gonna wear that shit to work. Crazy. I'm not gonna wear it to the gym. It's just gonna be hanging up next to my Aaron Hernandez jersey. That
January 6th.
The next January 6th. Yeah. Part 2. I can't wait. After that, we get a quick segment where Heyman's like, yo, man, I want to be your person. I want to be your wise man, but you got to help me out. And Solo's like, look, I listened to you. I didn't bring Jacob. You said he was dangerous. I didn't bring him. But tonight we're gonna have a ceremony, and that was pretty much it. It was pretty cut and dry. But Solo is giving off the appearance that he is trusting the wise man. He's like, yeah, you said he was dangerous, so I didn't bring him. I listened. I finally listened.
I'm listening to you.
What? You told me to take out the chicken, down. Mom. I did. Goddamn. So yeah. After that, then we get the next qualifier match. But so we get the men's qualifier match. But during the entrances, you see Jalen Bronson, New York Nick, beloved in New York. You see Jalen Bronson there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're like, oh yeah, that's okay, cool, that's cool. It's not the first time you see sports people at shows, and there was other people that they famous that were there. Nick Khan was there in attendance. Stephanie was there.
Nick
in attendance.
Steph was there. Cena was there.
John.
Yeah, there was a Cena sighting. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, I didn't see him. But y'all don't make me explain the joke. But no.
He was there. I didn't see him.
I deadass did not see him.
Maybe that was.
I don't know.
No, hold on. I gotta fact check it because maybe somebody was trolling me. Okay. Maybe it was like, oh, Steph and John was there, and it was like an empty seat next to Steph. Maybe like it was somebody trolling me. I gotta fact check.
Okay, all right, bet.
So now you got me thinking this shit because niggas are stupid.
Because I definitely didn't see that shit.
I'm like, they would have showed John if he was there too.
I feel like he would have had a backstage segment where you just said hi to somebody or something. You know. But yeah. So the last person to come, yeah. So LA Knight comes out, Santos Escobar comes out, then Logan Paul comes out, and he's like, "I'm gonna bring a real winner in Madison Square Garden, and I'm gonna bring out Tyrese Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers, who Indiana Pacers knocked out the New York Knicks this last playoffs." In
great cheap heat.
Yeah, great cheap heat. And
they did it before. I think they brought like Trae Young out. Trae Young was at like a yeah. So it's good heat for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want to say they brought out Trae twice, but they for sure brought out Trae Young one of the years that Atlanta beat New York. Yeah. It might have been Miz. Sounds like something Miz would do. But yeah, no. So yeah, they bring him out. So yeah, you get some basketball beef on top of wrestling beef. It's just really good cross promotion. Nick Khan, like when it comes to like bringing in celebrities and all the other stuff, like ever since he was hired, he's just really just been killing it when it comes to this type of shit. And I mean, and it's not, and what makes it even cooler is besides that it's topical. Besides the fact that for the New Yorkers, like all that shit was really real. It's also cool in the sense that pop culture wise, that's a obvi, that's a gibby, but also that they're both young NBA players, and it's like, yeah. So you're also,
and they're both wrestling fans,
yeah, and
like so they understood like the dichotomy of like wrestling,
yeah, and also at the same, and so in saying all that, they're also still touching like the youth or like reaching to the youth as far as like doing it,
yeah,
and it also like I don't know,
culturally aware.
Maybe it was the pizza I had or whatever, but like I was smiling. Anytime they put the camera on the basketball players and like when they actually do have the face to face, like I don't know, I was smiling. I was like, it just reminded me, is like, who's wrestling for? You know, it's for the niggas.
And like this, like it wasn't cheesy. Like the stare off that they had was actually intense. Like they both were in that moment. I think the only criticism I got is like, Tyrese, you too goddamn tall for them jean shorts. It looked crazy.
Man, you saying he was part of Hit Row? That's wild. But yeah.
Oh my god.
But fire ass triple threat, like legit fire ass fucking triple threat.
Yeah.
Which on paper, I mean, if we're doing on paper, it should have been, because Santos is great, Logan Paul is great, and LA Knight. Pre WrestleMania, I gave some critiques about his in-ring work, but ever since WrestleMania, he has not missed. He has been in his fucking bag in-ring, like presentation wise, talking to the crowd, he's always been good, but like in-ring wise, like he has been in his fucking bag.
You're not wrong. Now I'm thinking about it, like he has been hidden, like since Mania.
Yeah, he has been fucking he's been firing on all cylinders. He's ready for that fucking championship title run. He's ready for that, hopefully that US title run. But yeah, fire ass match. There's a point in time where Logan tries to get Tyrese to hand him the brass knuckles, and Jalen Bronson's like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. So then like they have a face off, and referees start getting in there because Adam Silver ain't gonna let them really fight.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Shit, the motherfucker just come off of surgery. Jalen's come off of hand surgery, and when like he had stumbled in the ring, and like he like looked like he kind of like not hurt his hand, but
he looked at it multiple times, and even Tyrese was like, or is it? It's Tyrese. Yeah, it's Tyrese.
Yeah, it's Tyrese.
I wrote Tyler like 5 times in my notes, and I was like, fuck, it's Tyrese. I gotta remember it's Tyrese.
Bro, the fans, the New York Knicks fans are on the internet. I was like, did he fuck up his hand? Did he fuck up his hand? And he had to tweet like, nah, bro, it's okay. Yeah. My hand is fine. Yeah. But they were dead ass serious. Like, we don't care about wrestling. You got to make the playoffs next year. Like, we better not fuck up this hand, man.
Bing bong. Yeah, no. They was like really.
they was concerned.
It was really fucking invested. But yeah, man. They face off. It was cool. So yeah, fucking BFT to Santos. He rolls out or some shit. Logan tries to sneak a win. LA Knight reverses it. LA Knight advances. And then we get another face-off where, Tyrese slides in the ring with Logan. It looks like they're about to jump LA Knight. Jalen grabs a chair. That's when he slides in the ring. It looks like he injures his hand. But yeah, he has a chair. And speaking of, because you mentioned, like, it looks like, they're both grown-up fans or whatever. If you rewatch it, like, LA Knight, I think Bronson was just in the moment, but like LA Knight had to remind him to do, or like if you rewatch, like LA Knight like lifted up the chair for Bronson because he's like, you gotta lift up the chair because usually when you have a face off and someone has a chair, they always like raise it above their head, like they're about to hit them, shit like that. And he like was slapping the chair, like trying to make sounds or whatever. And then there was the part where the heel slide out the ring, and LA Knight would literally like tapped him. He's like, "Yo," because Bronson was looking the other way doing crowd service. Like he had to tap him. He's like, "All right, now we got to like run towards this way to like you got to do the spot where as the heels slide out or as whoever slides out the ring,
hit the chair against the rope.
Yeah, you hit the chair against the ropes. Like he had to like show. Like he had to. If you rewatch it again, he pointed out like multiple different cues. It's not a bad thing. It's just something I noticed, and I didn't see anyone on the internet talk about it. So this is literally something that I noticed. So. Or whatever, but it's not
for the celebrities.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
It's fine.
It's just, exactly.
Like John Cena was calling out spots during the match. Like there's multiple clips where you can hear John Cena talking about clothesline, duck.
Yeah, and
he's orchestrating the entire match.
And Becky Lynch is a loud talker too. I mean, they have reason for it, and their reason is like, I'd rather you hear my spot than not hear me, and then we fuck up or something like that. I do understand that, but there is some times where it's like you can hear Becky or you can hear John, and like. I can hear every single thing you're saying, nigga. Like, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Spanish fly off the top rope. This nigga just say Spanish fly off the top rope. Yeah. Like, what? No, hell no, don't do that shit.
Punch me in the face. Like, what? What? But yeah, no, it was cool shit and a good fucking pop, man. But great pop. This goes into my little rant real quick. I fucking hate Fox Network. I cannot wait for this shit to get off Fox. It is bad. The censorship is just absolutely ridiculous. It's wild that we could have all this like, MAGA propaganda on this shit, but goddamn it, God forbid we hear "fuck the Pacers" or bullshit, or I mean, we don't even we
fucking 10-year-old flipping off the camera. Like, what the fuck are we on, bro? I didn't even see little nigga flip off the camera. I rewatched it and he sure shit was flipping off the camera, but you don't black out the screen because of that.
And they black out the screen. They black out the screen all the time. And it's been going on for months because I remember when we first talked about an episode, I was like, I thought my cable was fucking up for the like,
bro. It's like it's blacking out the screen and it's muting the audio, so you're just sitting there with black screen and no audio. Like, what the fuck is going on? So it's like
you think your shit shuts down, and it's like you guys are a huge ass company. You can't put a delay like most stations would do.
Don't these niggas show Family Guy? like don't these like. What the fuck?
You show Family Guy and you have literally MAGA propaganda, but goddamn it, I can't watch wrestling with the bullshit chant or this or I don't know. It's just I cannot wait. It cannot go soon enough. The blackout screens is absolutely ridiculous.
It's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And the funny thing is they're going to USA, right?
No.
And like I ain't never really watched Law and Order. I ain't never heard no crazy ass cussing on Law and Order, but like they don't black out shit over there. Like it's like it is what it is. Like where's the need to like do this in today's like media like timeline? Like you watch TikTok right now and see more fucking cussing. Like who are you protecting? The 6-year-old who's fucking telling everybody to suck his shit? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
and again, that's the thing.
Cussing is happening, bro.
Delays on radio and TV have existed for so long. We're in 2024 now. I'm watching this. We live in the Northwest, so we're watching this way after the show started. Why is my shit still black? Why is shit still mute?
True. That is true.
Just bleep it. If anything, just wholly bleep, or like, even that's still fucking annoying. But fuck, dude. Like, yeah, to have a screen go black for like 10 seconds to where you like legitimately might have a panic attack and like, oh, remember that Super Bowl commercial? I think it was this year. It was either this year or last year where it looked like the channel was changing and it was literally on the internet to where everyone it actually caused legit fights because that's how good the commercial is. And it's like you're doing you guys are doing something similar to where it goes mute for 10 seconds and it goes black for 10 seconds. Like I'm like, I know I paid my fucking bill. Like, what is going on here? And it's like, oh, because of you're doing all that because a fucking 12-year-old is flipping a bird. Please.
That's crazy, bro.
Just
what? These kids are ruthless. They're different now, bro. Like, who are you protecting?
Everyone watching that network.
About, oh my god,
the president
bullshit on TV. Cover Timmy's ears.
Their president candidate likes grabbing people by the pussy. And I can't hear bullshit.
What?
Like, I cannot wait. I can't wait for Netflix. Can't wait for them to go back to USA. I mean, I know USA is not going to be perfect. I know they're going to bleep some stuff, but at least like at the 9 o'clock hour, they're more lenient with like, I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why did you guys even give them $4 billion if you're just going to fucking censor all that shit the way that you're censoring it? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But we're almost at the end. So we get a Sika tribute, which was cool. We already talked about Sika, but yeah, we get a nice tribute video, which was nice. So for those who aren't fully aware, you get to like see what he looks like. You see show highlights of matches. You guys know what a tribute video looks like. After that, we get the women's triple threat qualifier, which is we get Blair Davenport's main roster debut, Indy Hartwell versus Naomi, and fire ass match. Absolutely fucking fire.
Blair looks great.
Yeah, Blair looked great.
It was damn
near.
I've been talking about Blair for a minute.
It was damn near the Naomi showcase though. Like Naomi was really
that was my next note. Yeah,
bag.
In her bag,
and she
was leading this one for sure.
Man, yeah, no, she was like the Cena of that match. Like she was she was in her bag. Like it was her match to lose, and that's how much of in her bag she was. And it was because of that where I was like, hey man, y'all can believe MVP all y'all want. But as far as wrestling goes, black women are up, my nigga. I don't know what to tell you. Black women are up because what I've seen from Bianca, Jade, and Naomi, and that's just in that one company. That's not including a Willow or a Mercedes or a Queen Aminata or anyone else in other companies. Like, black women are up, and they're working their fucking asses off, and they're putting on great shit, and their gear is great. Naomi's Xbox shirt. It took me a while to figure out what what it was, but it was Xbox gear, Xbox controller.
Yeah,
and I was like, fire. Like it's just fire. And yeah, the match was fire. All three women looked great. Man, I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard. What else can you say?
You can't say anything. Like they had a phenomenal match. Naomi was looking fucking amazing. She was definitely orchestrating the entire match. There was a dope the split-legged moonsault she did. She had a springboard in the same match. Like she was just fucking killing. Like it was dope. This match also had Jay come back out to return the favor on Indy too, because Indy was interfering earlier, and Jay was like, "Okay, it's an eye for an eye. You fuck me over, I'm gonna fuck you over." Like, and that's exactly how that turned out. And it's also like the partnership of the Cocoa Butter Combat Club, like they looking out for one another, so it makes sense on that aspect as well.
Yeah. My only pick is that I wish that this wasn't Blair's first on-screen appearance. I mean, not on-screen match. I don't think a triple threat is a good way to showcase all her ability, even though she performed great. All three did, honestly. I just think they could have gave us a match like 2 weeks ago, I feel like, or at least last week, like a quick squash.
But they also protected Blair too by not having her take the pin and Indy take the pin.
Yeah,
so she didn't like technically get pinned in this match, so
no,
you're still good.
Yeah, no, she wasn't even in the ring. Yeah, so it was still good.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just a nitpick, and I'll label it a nitpick because that's exactly what it is. But all three look great, and Naomi advances. After that, there's just a quick backstage with DIY talking to Theory, trying to convince him he's being used. Grayson Waller attacks him, and it's just setting up for there's a tag team match at Money in the Bank for those titles, and so that was that. And then now we get to the real main event, the coup de grace of the show, which is the ceremony, the acknowledgement ceremony, where Solo comes out with the Bloodline, or the new Bloodline, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Paul Heyman. Paul starts to do his "My name is Paul Heyman" stuff, but Solo interrupts, which goes to crazy boos. He's like, "Acknowledge me." Crowd doesn't want to do it, so then he goes to each member of the team to have them acknowledge. I think he goes to either Tama or Loa first. I don't know which one. But they like, "I love you." They say something in a Polynesian or whatever, Samoan, whichever language. Respectfully, I don't know. But they say like, "I love you, Solo," something, something, something. I acknowledge you. And they kind of like each do their own like version to it, but they all say I love you, Solo, which is an interesting take.
Mm-hmm.
So I love you, Solo. You know, something on Moa. I acknowledge you. You know, like it's cool. Yeah, it's cool shit. And I'm saying that respectfully. I'm sorry if that was offensive. No, but I was just trying to give you guys an idea. But you know, it was cool shit. What did you think about that spin before we get to the last part?
Well, first off, because while they're doing that whole acknowledge you, Jacob was also in the ring.
Oh yes,
but we didn't talk about his entrance. We didn't talk about the fucking entrance this motherfucker had, yo.
Yes,
he comes like the pitch black lights. They got the tribal like theme going on and the feel and vibe, the fire for every like it's heat,
bro. And
I'm like, this is the first Death Revel part like entrance that they did not fuck up. Like video package or not video package, but like you know like the background video for the
wolf had the
entrance, like
the red eyes. Well, you know that shit was fire. I can't.
That shit was gas, bro.
No, that shit was fucking.
When
gas.
he came out, and I'm looking at him like, yeah, bro. In a couple years, he's gonna be it. It's like not even on no weird shit. Like you can just look at him and see that he's going to hold a belt in WWE.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Like Jacob Fatu is gonna get it. Like. And I'm excited, bro. I'm excited for this dude. It's about to be fucking up for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
and that shirt is fire.
Yeah.
I can't wait till it arrives.
Shirt's definitely fire.
I don't think it's supposed to come until like next month.
I need it in the hoodie.
Man, yeah. I need a hoodie. I need a tank top. Yeah. So yeah, bye. So yeah, before he breaks down the acknowledgement, all that happens. Then he breaks down the acknowledgement. He officially announces Jacob as the enforcer. And Jacob's the last one to say, I love you, I acknowledge you. Then he goes to Paul Heyman.
Also, now Paul, I don't know if Paul's just in his acting bag right now, but he is selling the fuck out of like the stress. So like, his face is not shaved. He's bloodshot eye red. He doesn't look like he slept. Like he's really like either not taking care of himself or he's dedicated. And the makeup team is really fucking great at making him look like deprived. Like he's mentally unstable. He's not doing well. He looked like he's just about to he's just defeated, like he's breaking down.
Yeah,
which I don't think is an accident. I think that's done on purpose.
No, it's definitely done on purpose. The sleeping part. Okay, so I've seen multiple tweets. I haven't seen anything like I haven't seen like a. Have I seen Fightful? I haven't seen. I can't remember a credible source, but yeah, apparently he didn't sleep for like 24 hours to do this, and that's not the first time he's done it. And it might even be longer than 24 hours, but apparently, he did not sleep. He clearly didn't shave. And then he clearly didn't re-dye his hair. And that's, again, not the first. This is like his fourth time in the 4 or 5 year of this Bloodline saga that he's been doing this. So this is him, like, in his bag, in his bag with the craft. That's, so.
Yeah, he's dedicated for sure.
Yeah.
And it's definitely getting across to the audience because he was stressed.
Yeah, man, he deserves it in me, man. I don't care how that sounds. I know wrestling is one of those things. It's kind of like animation where there's just going to be a lot of groups that will not take it seriously. And I know that, but I don't give a fuck. Mans needs an Emmy.
Could you imagine like an Emmy being given to like a wrestler? Like a storyline for wrestling, like, do you understand like how crazy and groundbreaking that would be? And there is some stories that I definitely like deserve. I think the Bloodline story is definitely one of them.
Yeah,
but you would have to be really locked
the trial of Sami Zayn,
the tribal,
like any of the Sami Zayn shit could have easily been anywhere.
Yeah.
Like this tonight, this is like anything Paul Heyman has done, and like
the bullshit. Like there's some shit, bro.
And it's one day I think it will happen. I think it's going to happen in our lifetime. I just don't know how soon. Because to me, the first step was like us getting EPSI, or not us, but wrestler getting EPSI awards and being at the ESPYs and shit. I feel like that was one of the first steps. But like the writing in certain storylines, specifically Bloodline storylines, has been really good. Like,
and maybe not even like a wrestler getting an Emmy, but maybe like the writer, like a writer getting an award, because it's still TV.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They hire TV writers. They at least like even just a nomination, just to like get that foot in the door,
crazy
would be fun.
Yeah,
because there ain't a lot of good TV out here. I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
And it would
Not every
incentivize a lot of people to start writing about wrestling. I think that like right now they'll pull TV writers and stuff like that, and they'll create like these stories and whatnot. But imagine if a writer for wrestling got nominated. So many people who have these stories for talent and shit like that would be motivated. You might get some like what's the dude's name for Black Panther? Some Ryan Coogler shit for like wrestling. Imagine like there's just somebody sitting out there, some black kid out there in the middle of like Tennessee writing the fieriest fucking shit for wrestling. Like it's a possibility. Like,
and the closest thing, I mean, it's the girl who is at AEW now who writes for Sasha, because she won an Emmy. It wasn't for wrestling, but they like it's in that same caliber. There's a writer who's Emmy caliber, Emmy caliber, who's writing for wrestling. Like it's
that's just fucking dope. That's tough. I never even thought about shit like that. Like that's fucking tight. But yeah, so now we get Paul's asked to acknowledge Solo. In this aspect, Paul is hesitant. He's also like fucking upset that they got the fucking lay, which is a even bigger tie-in because like just with the whole Sika passing, like that's also like just story wise for WWE so disrespectful. It's like you got the lay that my dad gave me, and you got people they put it on you. If I am Roman, bro, I'm knocking heads off, bro. Like what you talking about? Like that's fucking insane. So as he's doing this, he asks Paul to acknowledge him. Paul then says that he acknowledges that he is not his tribal chief. Biggest pop of the night. Huge fucking pop. He throws a leg down, and at that point, Solo just loses it, and Samoan spikes Paul Heyman.
Yeah, spikes Heyman. Then Fatu does like a Samoan head dive or headbutt.
Deep headbutt, bro. They brought him to the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not about to do this. Yeah.
And then
like that.
Yeah. And then after that, they shield powerbomb him through the table. And Paul Heyman, speaking of like all his craft and shit, I mean, he hasn't taken a bump since I think it was during I think Brock Lesnar like FI'd him at some point during the Bloodline saga. It's been a couple years since he's taken a bump, but he's 58, and he's 58 and damn. I don't know his weight, but maybe 300. And yeah, he took a table bump. So on top of not sleeping.
In the history of like Bloodline, the 4 years I've seen, maybe besides Brock, like nobody's ever put their hands on Paul, ever. No. Roman ain't never put his hands on Paul.
No, he never even
ever
slightly
the heel.
Yeah, he never even slightly ever threatened Paul.
No.
But Solo threatened.
So like,
Solo's threatened Paul almost every week, and then this week they finally put him through a table.
It's like you're breaking. Like the story that they've been saying is that you're doing things that the tribal chief doesn't do. You're breaking rules that shouldn't be broken, and I think that like that's also the thing that's going to get Roman is that like you're breaking like rules, bro. Like who told you to come in here and break all these goddamn rules and traditions that we had? Like who you were following me this entire time? This is what you saw from me? Like, where are you getting this from? Who's influencing you on how to be a tribal chief? You definitely not like watching what I was doing.
Right.
Especially we're supposed to be all family and shit like that. You done Jay out. You done took Jimmy out. You now done executed Paul on a fucking like shield power bomb. What happened to this whole bloodline family thing? Where did we go wrong at? Like, what happened here?
I don't know, man. Some young. I don't want to. Yeah, nah. It's gonna be my old head shit. But similar to Friday, it's like y'all young boy, y'all youngins, bro. You're so quick to pop off. Sometimes you gotta.
Too quick to pick up a gun.
Yeah,
It was good. I was entertained. After my recent reanalysis of WWE, I was entertained. This segment was definitely entertaining.
Yeah, and the Bloodline stuff, like it started off after Mania, like started off slower. Like what are they doing Solo? That first week, Solo sounded like the dude from Malcolm in the Middle. And like what's going on? All this other stuff. But like now we're back at cinema.
It's my pretty boy swag.
Yeah, now we're back at cinema, and it's like Bloodline storyline. I think we're in chapter 4 or something. It's all been good.
Chapter 67. Like, goddamn,
Yeah,
bro.
they keep
like,
using baseball references, but I don't know baseball like that. I don't know. So
we're in the 9th inning.
Yeah,
It's like, what? What the fuck does that mean?
Because I know baseball can go forever.
It can.
But yeah, man, that was the Smackdown, a really good Smackdown. If it wasn't for the fucking censor,
It was a good Smackdown.
Honestly, it's one of the better Smackdowns of the entire year. That censor shit was it was fucking irritating, but it's
the best Smackdown since like Rock and shit. Like,
yeah, it's
post Mania. This is definitely the best Smackdown post Mania, easily.
But yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's the show, people. We'll be back with the regular programming, not next episode, but the episode after. This upcoming episode will be the Forbidden Door episode, so we got to go through and talk about 14 matches, which is going to be a lot of wrestling, a lot of talk.
Well, it wouldn't be the next episode either, or the episode after that, because then we got to talk about Money in the Bank.
You might be right. Or do we have 2 pay-per-view episodes after this? Is that what's lined up?
I don't know. We'll talk about it off air, but you
that's going to be
you guys might get 2 pay-per-view
right.
episodes back to back, or maybe we'll hit you with that 21. We'll see how we're feeling.
We'll see how it works. Yeah. But with that being said, we're going to get out of here. We will catch you guys in the next one. It's been real. Peace out.
Too sweet.